This is Mamuni. Thank you so much for being Amar Baba Ma.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to solve a trial balance problem. So let's get started. Chalo, shuru kara jak. Now let's go through the problem. From the following list of balances extracted from the books of Mrs. Roy, prepare a trial balance as on 31st March 2022. The amount required to balance should be entered as capital. That means the trial balance won't tally. There will be a balancing figure in the credit column and the balancing figure will be treated as capital. Okay. So here the name of accounts are given here and here the amounts are given. Okay. Let's see the first account. Cash 50,000. So let's write cash 50,000. Cash is a debit balance. That is the reason we're writing in the debit column 50,000. Why cash is a debit balance? Because cash falls under real account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. Here, from the business point of view, cash comes into the business. So cash account will be debited. Understood? Now let's see the next account. The next account is purchases 10,000. Let's write purchases. Purchases is a debit balance. That is the reason we are writing 10,000 in the debit column. Why purchases is a debit balance? Because purchases falls under real account as well as nominal account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. Here, when goods are purchased, goods come into the business. So purchases account will be debited. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, when goods are purchased, money goes out. So purchases is an expense for the business. So purchases account will be debited. Understood? Let's see the next account. The next account is sales account. How much? 24,000. Let's write sales. Sales is a credit balance and that is the reason we are writing 24,000 in the credit column. Why sales is a credit balance? Because sales falls under real account as well as nominal account. According to real account, what goes out is credit. Here, when goods are sold, goods go out from the business. So sales account will be credited. According to nominal account, all incomes and gains credit. Here, when goods are sold, money comes in. So sales is an income for the business. So sales account will be credited. Understood? Let's see the next account. The next account is carriage on purchases. Carriage on purchases means carriage inward. Both means transportation costs. Okay? Carriage on purchases and carriage inwards all the same. Both means transportation costs. So carriage on purchases 1,000. Let's write carriage on purchases. Carriage on purchases is a debit balance 1,000. Why carriage on purchases is a debit balance? Because carriage on purchases falls under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, carriage on purchases is a transportation cost. So, carriage on purchases is an expense for the business. So, carriage on purchases will be debited. Understood? Let's see the next account. The next account is carriage on sales. Carriage on sales or carriage outward means the same thing. Carriage on sales or carriage outward is a transportation cost. The amount is 2,000. Let's write carriage on sales. Carriage on sales 2,000. Carriage on sales is also a debit balance and that is the reason we are writing in the debit column. Carriage on sales comes under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here, carriage on sales is a transportation cost. This is an expense for the business. So, carriage on sales will be debited. Understood? Let's see the next account. The next account is commission received 3,000. Let's write commission received. Commission received is a credit balance and that is the reason we have written 3,000 in the credit column. Commission received falls under nominal account. According to nominal account, all incomes and gains credit. Here commission received is an income for the business. So commission received will be credited. Understood? Let's see the next account. The next account is discount allowed 2000. Let's write. Discount allowed. Discount allowed is a debit balance. That is the reason we're writing 2000 in the debit column. Why discount allowed is a debit balance? Because discount allowed falls under nominal account. According to nominal account, all losses and expenses debit. Here discount allowed is a loss for the business. So discount allowed will be debited. Understood? Let's see the next account. Debtors. The next account is debtors, 20,000. Let's write. Debtors, 20,000. Debtors is a debit balance, and that is the reason we're writing 20,000 in the debit column. Why debtors is a debit balance? Because debtors falls under personal account. According to personal account, the receiver of the benefit is debit. Here, debtors is the receiver of the benefit. So debtors will be debited. Understood? Let's see the next account. The next account is creditors, 18,000. Let's write. Creditors is a credit balance, and that is the reason we're writing in the credit column, 18,000. Why creditors is a credit balance? Because creditors falls under personal account. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Here creditor is the giver of the benefit. So creditor's account will be credited. Understood? Let's see the next account. The next account is building, 1 lakh. Let's write. Building. Building is a debit balance because building is an asset. That is the reason we have written 1 lakh in the debit column. Why building is a debit balance? Because building is an asset and it falls under real account. According to real account, what comes in is debit. When the business purchases an asset, asset comes into the business. So building account will be debited since building is an asset. Okay. So let's see the last account. Loan from bank, 40,000. Let's write. Loan from bank. Loan from bank is a credit balance. That is the reason we are writing in the credit column. Why loan from bank is a credit balance? Because loan from bank falls under personal account. Here the bank is the giver of loan. According to personal account, the giver of the benefit is credit. Since bank is the giver of loan, so loan from bank will be credited. Understood? Now let's calculate the total of debit column and the total of credit column. Okay. So the total of debit column is 1,85,000 and the total of credit column is only 85,000. So obviously the debit column is greater than the credit column. So we'll have to write 1,85,000 on both columns. The total of debit column is greater than the credit column. So there will be a balancing figure in the credit column. আমাদের অলরেডি প্রবলেমে বলা হয়েছিল যে এই ট্রায়াল ব্যালেন্সটা ট্যালি করবে না, এখানে যেই ডিফারেন্সটা আসবে বা যেই ব্যালেন্সিং ফিগারটা আসবে সেটাকে ক্যাপিটাল হিসেবে ট্রিট করতে হবে। সি দ্য অ্যামাউন্ট রিকোয়ার্ড টু ব্যালেন্স শুড বি এন্টার্ড অ্যাজ ক্যাপিটাল। তার মানে এই ট্রায়াল ব্যালেন্সটা ট্যালি করবে না। প্রবলেমে মেনশন করা আছে যে ব্যালেন্সিং ফিগারটা আসবে দ্যাট শুড বি ট্রিটেড অ্যাজ ক্যাপিটাল। The balancing figure should be treated as capital. Understood? Or entered as capital. So let's calculate the balancing figure. So total of debit column is 1,85,000 and the total of credit column is only 85,000. So deduct the total of credit column from the total of debit column. So the total of credit column is 85,000. So deduct 85,000 from the total of debit column, that is 1,85,000. So the balancing figure will be 1 lakh in the credit column. This is, the difference will be treated as capital. So the balancing figure will be capital. So now the trial balance did tally because the total of debit column is 1,85,000 and the total of credit column is also 1,85,000. So the total of debit column is equal to the total of credit column. Understood? I hope you understood. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your precious time. I sincerely hope this was helpful. And before I fade out, please remember, life is all about choices. Stop blaming the lack of opportunities. So choose wisely. Bye bye. Take care. Stay safe and stay blessed always.